We're in Elystan Street. This is still really the restaurant where, my name is above the door. This is still where I have full control over the food, all the menus, still spend lots of time in the kitchen. So yeah, this is still the center of my food world. Yeah, always looking forward to coming back to Aberdeen. I'm quite selective about what work I do. Charity is always a big draw, but it just getting out from the concrete jungle where I live is always a treat. The chef's chef. It's funny, I have been tagged with that. In the most part, it's really to do with, for a long period of time, I just stayed in the kitchen, I led from the front.
How many bags have you got there? You got enough, okay.
I cooked, I mentored, I was approachable, didn't get too distracted by trends and fads.
Okay, those then need to be last.
I think I take it as a real compliment. There are lots of worse things I could be called. I started off with the Roux Brothers, classical flavors, proper cooking, old school, but it's all about, giving wonderful pleasure and richness, and so that was very important. I then worked with Marco Pierre White at Harvey's. His was about the aesthetics of food, making food look beautiful on the plate, polishing it up a bit more refinement and finesse, and he was, and the way he ran his kitchen, what he achieved out of this small space with a relatively limited number of people was extraordinary. My childhood, in a way, was in South Africa. They had things called a cook sister and biltong. A cook sister is this unbelievably sweet thing. I have a shockingly sweet tooth. And a cook sister is basically it's almost a twist of dough that's been deep fried and then steeped in syrup. It is wickedly good. Oh, my guilty food pleasure, it's probably, it's sugar. Just lump it into that one thing. I love food. I love savory food, obviously, but whether it's chocolate, whether it's ice cream, whether it's desserts, whether it's a bag of sweets, it is. That's where the naughtiness lies. There are very few things that don't start off with an onion. In themselves, utterly delicious. If they're prepared in the right way. We use them as garnishes. We eat them. We serve them roasted, caramelized. But they are also instrumental in the background flavors and the cooking processes of lots of slow-cooked dishes and sauces. Onions just are a key ingredient of background mellowness and sweetness that are so important. Whatever the primary ingredient is, that wants to be perfection. And then it's just served with a little something to eat it with. And it's normally a puddle of sauce or a bit of puree, some beautiful pasta. I always weave pasta into a longer menu because it comes back to that same thing. When you're in the business of delivering pleasure, pasta with truffles is about as good as it gets. That I hope at the end of it, people will smile and think, God, that was just a great dinner. Pleasure in food terms can be found anywhere. And those moments in life when you put something in your mouth and it stops you in your tracks, it can be, a Mars bar out of the fridge. It can be a Longstein with truffle. It can be a burger. It can be a bowl of cereal, with full fat milk and a sprinkle of brown sugar, And some of the greatest things to eat are the simplest pleasures that there are.